So I thought I would hop on here and talk about this decision I made to cancel my registration for a couple of the big races I had signed up for here in the next several months. And I thought it was worth making a whole video to really talk about how I came to make that decision and what's been going on with me, what is going on with me instead of focusing on those races. I have some other things I want to focus on, and really what led me to make this decision, I think, is a really important example. So I hope you tune in, and I'm going to finish skinning up this hill and then enjoy the 1 to 2 feet of powder that we got last night. I have decided to cancel my registrations for the next couple upcoming races. The ones that I was looking forward to doing in about the first half of the year. And I wanted to talk about why that is, because there's a part of it that is really hard. And there's a part of the reason here that I'm just really excited for. So I thought it was worth coming here and creating this video so I can share a little bit more about what's so important to me that I would decide not to do these events that I was really looking forward to. You know, last year I finished High Lonesome 100, and it was a journey to get to that finish line. Training didn't go as ideally as I wanted it to, given fire season, trail closures, and all that stress. And I almost didn't even show up on the starting line because I didn't think I was trained enough. But I pushed through, showed up, spent 35 and a half hours moving through the mountains in Colorado, and was able to finish. And after that event, I really started looking forward to this next year. I was looking forward to a better, more consistent training schedule. I was looking forward to being able to show up faster, stronger, to be able to do not only that race, but other ultras as well. Really coming from a space that was less about, okay, can I simply finish this, which has always been my goal with every single ultra I've done, but to step it up and ask, can I compete in this? Can I, really go for time here and see how well I can do? And coming out of High Lonesome 100 last year, I really had that spark to train in a different way. And, I was documenting some of this. I kept showing up on the trails, being excited to really kick off a new training season. And I showed up in October, November, December, January, and here we are in February, and the same story keeps playing out. And that story is I show up on the trails, or when it's winter here, on the plowed streets. I'm starting to put in the work. I'm enjoying getting back into the rhythm. And then a little bit later, I find myself tired and hurting. And I've been here before. As an athlete, it's something that we all brush up against. And the whole mindset of being an athlete is how can you push through that? And learning this mind over matter framework is what enables athletes to persevere, to continue to cross finish lines, to continue to cross finish lines at faster paces. And there's a part of me that's so lit up by this mentality. And I've been in this space many times, and it is such a feeling of accomplishment when you're able to push through basically your body telling you it doesn't want to do something. And I really just want to state that I do see the value in that. But here's what's been happening. It was even before High Lonesome, right? In that training, I started to get a little bit more fully in touch with what my body wanted. And I know for a lot of us that sounds a little bit funky, but I want you to hear me out here. When you're pushing yourself in a way that's as extreme as ultra running, and when you're spending so much time simply with yourself, with your own self, your mind, body, and any other extra parts of yourself, when you spend that much time with yourself, you really get to become aware of this part of ourselves that is always asking to be heard. Now, we could talk about that forever, and that's a big part of why I'm creating this platform. From an ultra running perspective, how it was showing up at first was, hunger cues, really getting in touch with what my body really needed to be nourished. Of course, you're also getting cues from your muscles and other tissues, your general circulatory system, your circulatory system in general. And you really start to become aware of all these different systems that make up your body, and how, yes, we can call upon this mind over matter perspective to push forward to reach a goal. However, the question really is, how long can we do that? And what I've been coming to understand in the months since pushing myself with everything I had to cross that finish line, it's that in turn, my body has been asking me so strongly for me to listen and for me to give my body really what it needs now. So I like to talk about this dance that I find is so important, this balance, a dynamic balance between, what goals, what desires do we want out of life, and that so often plays out in our heads. And the human mind is so powerful and has this just remarkable ability to guide us to incredible places. At the same time, can we learn to live this dance that is not living completely from here, but taking action and listening into our bodies, listening to all the different parts of ourselves that are wanting to speak up and wanting to be heard. And again, this is what I've been doing, is following this fierce desire to show up on the starting line again and push myself again. And each time I do, I find that little bit of joy. But then I listen into what I really need. And what I hear is that my body isn't ready yet. And when I continue to live in this space that's a dance between what I really want and what my body really needs, is something that I think is so much truer and deeper than, okay, can I just get to the next race? It's a desire to really spend the time that's needed to get stronger, to work on my mobility, my terrible mobility, to work on, getting back on top of my nutrition. Years ago, nutrition was my whole body of work, and eating so in line with what I knew I really needed to be nourished helped me to feel so good. And I've let go of that to a great extent these last years. And I'm hearing that it's time to really get back on top of things. And what I start to see is a bigger picture where, yes, I get to hold on to these dreams and desires of mine to show up on the starting line again and be stronger, be faster, and be more able to compete. And what my body is telling me is it's going to take more time than my timeline that I keep writing out on paper, on whiteboards, with my mind, planning. And while, yes, that's wonderful, every time I do it right now, my body's telling me, no, that's not the timeline that needs to unfold right now. Now, I know we're not all ultra runners, and I know that this is an extreme example, but I like to call upon the ultra running example because to me, ultra running is such a beautiful window into what life is. How, we're here playing the long game. We're not here to cross off the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And I know that's how so many people live life. But what ultra running has taught me is how to play the long game, how to make choices that maybe don't give me the next dopamine hit and maybe don't give me the next dose of satisfaction, but enable me to, over time, make better and better decisions that are going to be better in the long term. Now, there's one more thing I wanted to say before closing here. As I am spending more time away from the trails, what I've been loving is the space that it offers me to really fully dive into this topic that I was talking about. That is, really a question of discernment and how we make the best decisions possible in our lives. And to me, again, it comes back to what I've been talking about. It's once upon a time, it was all about the mind to me. I was deep in neuroscience, psychology, neurophysiology, all the things that had to do with our brain and its remarkable power. And I'm not dismissing those today, but instead what I'm doing is bringing in the rest of us, bringing in the other very intelligent parts of us that are asking to be heard so that we can make better, healthier decisions in life. So I'm going to wrap things up here for today, but you can bet that that's going to be a key topic here that we're going to continue to dig into, both the health side and also that side that I think is so important is accomplishment in following our desires and living life as fully as we can given our time here. So with that, thank you for tuning in today, and I will catch you next time.